Hi everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel, Dr. Quesero TV, and to my show, Ask the Cheese Doctor. This is the English version of my earlier program at 9:30 a.m. And I always speak about any topic about cheese making. So if you want to learn how to make cheese, you're in the right place. And today we're going to. My apologies if I have problem with the transmission with the broadcasting in the last show. So I just connected my internet directly to the wire instead of Wi-Fi. So if you have problem with the audio, just please let me know because I'm just monitoring the audio. Okay, we are now 22,100 subscribers, which is very good, and the channel has had already 900,000 views, which is we're about 100,000 to reach 1 million views. I really appreciate your support, people. And without you guys, we couldn't have any show. And I reckon next month maybe we're gonna reach 1 million views in my channel, which is good, and it's a good milestone. And but this is all for you, and because my scope is to teach you how to make cheese. Okay, and new members, not this week. We haven't had any new members this week, and we have one more student in my cheese making course for beginners. It's Ana Pardo, and she is a new student. Ana, I hope you learn a lot. Okay, and count on me. Um, you're gonna be in the Facebook group with all my students, and any comments, any doubt that you have, any problem, just let us know, and we'll sort it out for you. I just released a video yesterday about a blue cheese from Spain called Cabrales. Cabrales cheese. There is no recipe on internet. Mine is the only one. And I tried to find one to have a look, but I couldn't find it. It's a blue cheese. It's made with three milks: goat milk, cow's milk, and sheep milk. It's a very good cheese. Um, and the video I just released it yesterday. I had a long time been trying to release it, and that I wanted to find all the information accordingly. So then now I got it. The video is live. Have a look because it's a good video. Okay, we are broadcasting in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And I hope I don't have today. I don't have no problems with the audio. Okay, we're going to speak today about a very interesting topic. I spoke the same in the Spanish class because I consider that it's important in both to have it in both weeks. So the thing is that I'm going to speak about the International Cheese Award, and this is the award where I won the silver medal in last October, and the association or the award opened the registration for this year, and the event is going to be in June. So I want you to go to the. I want you to go with me with the all the bit and pieces. How is the International Cheese Award? And when I'm doing in the presentation. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to share the screen so you guys can have a look. And let me see. Okay. Okay. Here. See. I hope the computer don't give me problem this time. Okay, let's go. I hope I don't have problem with the audio either. Okay, now it's faster. We are in this is the software. This is the ask the cheese doctor. Sorry for the mistakes. I always translate from Spanish to English, so I forgot to translate this one. Anyway, it's the International Cheese Award, which is going to be in June. Okay. I can start. Before starting, I invite you. My book in Kindle is only $1.72. Okay. So the price is not an issue. So if you want to learn how to make cheese, it's the beginner's Bible to cheese making. It's everything is there. Lactic cultures, how to use the bacteria, and I have recipes for 55 cheeses. This is my this book I have in promotion because it's only 72. It's nothing. It's in Kindle, and soon I'm going to release the same book but with 200 recipes. More than that, more than 200, because I'm going to add also the South American cheeses. I'm adding cheeses from around the world, French cheeses, um, Turkish cheeses, Greek cheeses, but I'm going to add as well the one from South America. So it's going to be more than 200 recipes. It's going to cost a little bit more or a lot more. So take advantage of this one. But the content for to learn how to make cheese is the same. So I invite you to do it. Okay, let's go. Let's start with this presentation. As I said before, the is the openings are for we have the openings now for the International Cheese Award. This is the second biggest award related to cheese making. Okay, all the cheesemakers around the planet go to this competition and get the prizes, get medals. And I'm going to tell you a story about it, right? And when I started making cheese a long time ago, well, not a long time ago, but about 8 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, I didn't know much about cheese making, and I started to study because when I realized that the cheese making is a passion and it's also an art, and I fell in love with the job. I said, when I curdled my milk the first time, I got scared, and I said, "Shit, this is amazing. I need to share this knowledge." So, but to share the knowledge, you have to be above average. You have to be not the best, because I can be better than my teachers, but I am above average. So I said, I'm going to teach how to make cheese. But to teach, I have also to get experience. And I competed. I registered I applied for my registration in the New Zealand Champion of Cheese Award. And I said, okay, what can happen? I always like to evaluate scenarios. So what might happen? Might happen two case scenarios, that I win or I lose. So I said, what do I have to lose? I don't have to lose anything. So if I win, it's gonna be a satisfaction for myself. But if I lose, who cares? I lose. I'm not gonna lose my life. I just lose. I just lost an award. So this is what I thought when I was saying that. And I registered my about 3 or 4 pieces, and by surprise, I won a silver medal with one of my cheeses from my country, which is the queso de mano, which is for those who doesn't know me, I am the cheese doctor Dietrich Trusset, and I'm from Venezuela. So we have a very typical cheese, which is like a disc, and it's basically a mozzarella, but we call it queso de mano, hand cheese in Spanish. So I won a silver medal in this cheese, with this cheese. So and this is a medal that no one's gonna take you away. I'm gonna keep it forever, for the rest of my life, and I'm going to give it to my grandchildren. I mean, it's a family issue when someone, a member of a family, wins an international award. So I said, okay, I won a silver medal. Then I'm going to compete in another one, and I competed in the World Cheese Award, and I won a bronze medal with another cheese. So and now I had 2 medals by that time. And I said, okay, I'm gonna carry on competing. And the next year, the next 2 years, I didn't win anything. Last October, I won in the International Cheese Award, International Cheese and Dairy Awards. I won a silver medal with one of my butters. It's a butter with truffle. So what I'm trying to tell you is that give it a try. You don't lose anything trying. The only thing that you're gonna lose is your money. Because the rest is all right. Losing your money, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's only money, and you're not gonna take the money to your grave. But if you win a medal, this is gonna be a big satisfaction. And if you want to carry on selling your product, a cheese with metal sells better than a cheese without it. So I would suggest give it a try. And now later on, after the presentation, I'm gonna give you an offer, and I'm gonna show you an offer. So if you want to compete, I'm gonna show you some stuff. So give it a try. Your worst case scenario is that you lose, and you already lost because you don't have any medal. So I invite you to go to the war to compete, and compete for your country, compete for yourself, compete for your family. The worst case scenario is that you lose. You lose. You have more to win than to lose. So I invite you to do it. What do you need to do first? Well, you need to register in the International Cheese Award. There is a button when you can register yourself. You don't have to have a company. You can be as a student. You can compete as a cheesemaker. You can and here are the categories. Okay, so you have to enter in this button here. Okay, just click here, and it will take you to another to this. If you click here, it will take you to this area. So this area is only for UK. By the way, the International Cheese and Dairy Awards are gonna be in, I reckon it's gonna be in UK, United Kingdom. There are some rules that you have to follow. For example, it says here, individual entries must not exceed 1.5 kilos. Okay, or 3 pounds, 3.3 pounds. So you have to be careful if you want to send a cheese. It's not. It can be a big cheese. You have to be 1.5 kilos. Okay, but anyway, you're going to register in this round here. It's for non-UK. It says here, non-UK exhibitors and producers. You're gonna here, unless you're going to compete in the Cheese Board Awards, or if you want to compete in retail. If you are a retailer, you can compete here in this category. But if you are retail, you also can compete in this too. If you are a foreigner, you're not from UK. Or I would say of them. So it depends when you want to compete. So in my case, I'm going to compete in this one. Okay, I already registered about 8 pieces. I have to start making the cheeses because my cheeses are gonna be fresh ones. I'm gonna go with butters. You can go with yogurt. We can go with. I mean, there are a lot of categories that you can apply. Heaps of them, heaps. And I'm gonna show you some of them. Okay. So you just click on the second one in my case, and they're gonna show the rules. Okay. See the rules. One of the rules is, for example, that the product that you send is not yours if the association. They also will send you some kind of paperwork about permits and consents, so you don't have issues with the customs. You have to. There is a way to package your delivery. So because your cheeses need to go, especially if you have yogurt or you have butter or fresh cheeses, they need to go in a cool condition. So you need to prepare your load in a certain way that it doesn't get caught. Okay, Um, there are the rules here. The weight is a limitation as well. In this case, if you are from a third world country, I reckon you're going to need a veterinary consent that your product is reliable. Remember that this is going to be tested by people. And if it is cross-contaminated with listeria or salmonella or E. coli, the judges might get sick. So there are some conditions that you need to comply. Okay. Um, by the way, here, yeah, this is the offer that I want to tell you. I'm going to prepare a group to compete for the international cheese award. Okay, it's a coaching program that I'm offering. I'm not going to guarantee that you're going to win a medal, but I will guarantee that at least you're going to have a good experience. I'm going to do my best so you can have a good performance. I have the tricks that the judge, because I have competed in 5 of them. So they always send me my mistakes. The judges always send me my mistakes. So I know what the judges are considering, what they're not considering. So in this case, I can tell you my feedback, and I will, of course, I will offer almost with all my students that is going to go in this coaching program. I'm going to prepare them. I'm going to tell them how to pack your loads, your cheeses, how to pack it. If you're gonna vacuum pack it, if you're gonna send it and not vacuum pack. I mean, it will depend on the piece that you're gonna send. How to market. This is what I want you to learn, and it's gonna be a hell of an experience. You're gonna learn a lot, and of course, next year, if you want to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. Okay, but you just need to click on the button on this button here. Okay, and it will take you to this page. I'm gonna put you the link here if you want to. Let me get out of here. Let me finish the presentation here. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna let me see if I can. Okay. So this is what I want to tell you. If you want to compete, it's gonna be. Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay. Oh, okay. So if you have any comments, be my guest. You can ask anything. I'm going to answer the of my audience because I always do. And with apologies because I arrived. I like to start early, but the thing is that I'm making cheese, so I have to dress up. And now I have to get dressed because I already cut the cord. I'm steering, waiting for my pH target. So, but anyway, I'm going to answer the questions of my audience. Catherine is asking here. Saraveno cheese. How can I make it? Catherine is asking. Well, Saraveno cheese. I was finding out about this cheese because I've never heard of it. I thought it was from Italy, but it's from Colombia, and it's not Saraveno. It's Saravena, and it's the brand that of the company that sells it. And I saw the cheese, and it's a hard cheese that you can grind it and put it in pastas and salads. It's not a big deal. That's it. Just a fresh. It's not fresh. It's aged. I don't know how many days because I haven't found the organoleptic characteristic of this cheese, but it's a cheese that, as far as I know, is for salad. If it is for salad, it has to be a little bit semi-hard. No, it doesn't have to be hard, but it might be hard. Salt content, I would say 2%. It's not a big deal. So I hope I have answered your question. I said here, Dr. Quesero, I have a question. I have started to make mozzarella to sell it, and I have a problem because I'm starting with 7 liters of milk, and I'm only getting 500 grams of mozzarella. What can I do? Well, look, for 7 liters, you should have pretty much 750 grams, more or less, because we have for 8 liters is 1 kilo. If you're getting 500, okay, you're losing a little bit, and you're going to realize that you're losing because your whey will become white. So if your whey becomes white, it's because you are losing fat. What the problem that you're having is that you're losing fat. So, but you can recover this fat making ricotta. So make ricotta, and you can recover this 25% that you're losing. So that's what the only thing that I can tell you, right? Because and for next time, try not to steer too hard. Maybe you're steering too hard when you're cutting. You're steering too hard, and you are breaking the fat globules. The fat globules. I mean, it's unavoidable not to break them. This always breaks some of them. If you One tip that you can do is when you cut your curd at the beginning, it's gonna be very soft. So stir slowly and easy. Don't go hard with the curd. Now, and when the curd starts to shrink, she will get hotter, and then you can start stirring a little bit hotter. So the heat helps the curd to compact. She will shrink a little bit, and she will become stronger. So try to go slow and soft at the beginning, and then you can go harder later on. Okay, until you feel that your curd is getting stronger. Okay, you can start steering a little bit stronger as well. But at the beginning, very slow. In this way, very easy and very smooth. Go smooth at the beginning. So in this way, you will give in time to your curd to get stronger, and then you can steer a little bit harder later on. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I have another question here. Tracy's in here. Hi, Dietrich. Need your input here. We just got a jersey, and we'll be changing from goat's milk to cow. When I made cheese with goat milk, I did not separate the cream. Would you separate for cow's milk? Absolutely. If your cheese requires a less fat content, okay. It will depend on the cheese that you're making, Tracy. If you are making, for example, um, let's say Parmigiano Reggiano. No Parmigiano Reggiano, because Parmigiano Reggiano is from Parma. This cheese have denomination of origin. So if you are making Parmesan style cheese, you have to use 2% fat, 2% milk with 2% fat. But your milk have 3.4% in average. So you have to take the fat out. How do you take the fat out? You have to standardize your milk. In this case, if you are using if you are using raw milk, you need to take the cream out, because the cream is going to float. It's going to go to the surface. So skim it. And this is what they do in Parma. They just leave the cheesemakers leave the milk to cool, to set for overnight. And in the morning, they take all the fat and start making cheese. So in your case, If you can't do that, you have to take the fat out. How? You can skim it, or you can put milk with the lower fat percent. If let's say 1% fat, and then you will the fat percent of the whole milk with the fat percent of the skim milk, they will, depending of the number that you are doing, there is a trick, and not a trick, it's a um, we call it theorem called the Pearson square, where you know if you how many liters of skim milk do you need to make a cheese, let's say 3% fat, 2% fat. So this is called standardization of the milk. Okay, or standardization. Um, but you definitely you can do that. You can use take the cream out. If you're taking the cream, you're standardizing your milk indirectly. Goat milk doesn't have, it's partially homogenized. It doesn't have much cream on the top, maybe a little bit, but not like cow's milk. Cow's milk, if the cow's milk is non-homogenized, all the fat is gonna go up. And this is the best milk to make cheese, non-homogenized milk, because you can make any type of cheese. If you are using homogenized milk, like for example sheep milk or goat milk, which is partially homogenized, you will need maybe calcium chloride in your cheese. So, okay, and there's another question here. Look, I'm getting red mold on my Swiss during my second stage of aging. I am working with a brine each day. Is there a way to make it cease and desist, or is not concerning? Well, look, I don't have your name here. Sorry about that. But when you are making this is at first stage, it's not concerning, because what I believe is there is a fungus called Micrococcus roseus, and it's not red. You're saying that it's red. It's not red. It's pink. If it is a red one and very strong, very red, it would be Brevibacterium linens. But if it is pink, it's definitely Micrococcus roseus, which is, it's not dangerous, but it's ugly. It doesn't have a good aspect to the cheese. So try to wash it with wine, and try also to use vinegar. If you use vinegar, it will disappear for sure, because the vinegar will create a very um, aggressive environment for the mold to grow. So I would suggest use vinegar instead of instead of salt. If you're using salt, okay, the salt doesn't give you a low pH, maybe a little bit, but if you're using vinegar, it will give you maybe two pH number 2, which is very aggressive for the mold to grow, and you won't have this problem anymore. This is what I always do with my cheeses. I use vinegar. I wash it with salt at the beginning, and then if the molds carry on growing, I use vinegar. If I want to get rid of the mold, because if it is a cheese that I want the mold, for example, a blue cheese or a camembert, I let it grow. I don't use vinegar. I just let it grow. Okay, so that's my best advice. Well, I reckon we're done here. Yeah, we're done here. If you guys have any questions, I don't have. Maybe let me see if I have one more question here. I reckon I have one. Let me see. Bianca is asking, good afternoon, doctor. I have a question. It is advisable not to use raw milk, but I thought that it is likely that in the process of elaboration of Tellita cheese, which vinegar is added and processed at a temperature of 55 and less than 85 degrees Celsius, this process will not be enough to consider that the milk is also undergone the pasteurization process. Look, Bianca, there's two questions there. The first one, I'm going to answer the second part first. If you are using raw milk to make telita cheese, which is a mozzarella, basically, it's not enough to heat the milk, to heat the curd, because what you're heating is the curd. To heat the curd and then stretch the cheese and the process, etc., etc. And it's not enough because when you are stretching the cheese, you're gonna have cold spots into your curd, which will not reach the correct temperature. So I wouldn't suggest to do that. First of all, okay. Now let's go with the first part. He says here, it is advisable not to use raw milk. If you're gonna make telita cheese, or if you're gonna make any type of pasta filata cheese using raw milk, you necessarily, compulsory, you have to, if you're going to sell it, of course, you have to pasteurize the milk. Otherwise, you won't be complying with the standards, and you will have problems with your clients, and you will have problems with the sanitary authorities, because it's a rule. It's a worldwide rule. Fresh cheeses needs to be done or needs to be made with pasteurized milk. The milk should be non-homogenized, which means that if you're going to use raw milk, you have to pasteurize it by the longer method, which is 63 degrees for half an hour. There are another type of method, but there are another times and waiting time. Sorry, temperatures and waiting times. But well, with this one, it's enough for you. The other ones I just explained in my cheese course for beginners, but I'm going to extend too much. But 63 for half an hour is fine. But you need to pasteurize your milk, otherwise you're going to have problems. Okay. If you want to use, if you want to use raw milk and you don't want to pasteurize your milk, you will have to use necessarily to make aged cheeses. You can use mold, you can lactic cultures, whatever, but you have to age your cheeses for at least 60 days, 61 days. Okay. Okay. That's all, guys. Let's go and see each other next week. Finish. We have 33 minutes. I'm gonna carry on doing my cheese or making my cheese, and see you next week. And as I always say, eat cheese, because life without cheese is like a love without a kiss, and a love without a kiss is very bad.
Quesitos en casa, fáciles de hacer son. El doctor Quesero te enseña con sabor. Quesitos en casa, fáciles de hacer son. El doctor Quesero te enseña con sabor. Quesos colombianos y venezolanos, todo hecho en tu casa, con sabor zuliano y calor humano.